Lacey Everett here with Minds in Motion. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel in order to help others. And if this video benefits you, share it with someone else who you think it would benefit, or anyone who's looking to improve their overall mental health. Our guest today is Alyssa Doverspike, who is a professional equestrian. She gives us two wonderful mindset tricks and how to overcome injuries and a lot more. Alyssa has won championships, trained and shown across the country, and continues to train at the Grand Prix level. Alyssa continues to show promise as one of the greatest young riders. Here is Alyssa. How are you?
Good.
You guys, she just got done riding for the day, so she has the time to dedicate to us. And I wanted to start with injuries because athletes or people in general, injuries happen. And especially if you're an athlete, it's kind of part of it, unfortunately. And I'm aware that you broke your back during your years riding. And I'm just curious how you mentally overcame that.
I broke my back about 5 years ago, and it was in a riding accident. I was bucked off a young horse, and I was very lucky. I got up and walked away from it and didn't need surgery, just needed a lot of time off and a lot of long-term physical therapy. So I was very lucky in that sense. Mentally, that's a difficult place to be in when you're so used to being super active and when it's your livelihood. However, it definitely comes with the job and with this type of industry. So mentally, you just focus on repair and getting yourself back to a place where you can start to fulfill your duties. And the saying like that you should get back on the horse after you fall off is super true in our little world. So when you can't do that right away, it's never the best situation, but it could be much worse. So mentally, like I said, you just try and work really hard to get yourself physically better and just spend all your mental focus on that. And then once you're riding again, things start to come back. So that's really what will up your mental game. Once you get back in the saddle is really where it helps. So
it's a famous saying, get back on the horse, and it really does. It seems like it's really helped you. And I'm sure that would help a lot of other people.
Yeah.
You said you had a lot of physical therapy, which helped. Cheers to the physical therapists in the world.
No kidding. Yeah. It's brutal, but it was, you do your due diligence as an athlete to just try and get yourself stronger all the time. And even those physical therapy things that I learned when I had a really severe injury, I still use them today. Being completely functional and fit now, I still rely a lot on what I learned during that time. Definitely.
Yeah, I can understand that because sometimes when athletes or people in general are injured, it almost makes you more motivated to get back on the horse for you. Exactly. Quite literally. And those things, hold true to you for the rest of your life, the things that you learn when you're injured, because it's a really impactful time in your life.
For sure.
You're not allowed to do what you love. You have to take time off, and that's hard.
Yeah.
And so you're saying mentally to kind of get through that, because it's hard, is to just kind of keep focusing on your physical health and staying in physical therapy and having that mentality of, well, I'm going to get back on the horse.
Yeah. I think a big part of being an athlete is not to rush those injuries back, not to force them back, because you really can do long-term damage. And for us, a sport, we don't have to age out at 20 or 30 like a lot of Olympic sports do. We have a lot of top riders that are much, much older than that. And so in order to keep your body functioning to that physical standard, you want to really take care while you're young and do all the necessary things. If you're injured and recovering, that was one of the biggest pieces of advice people gave me was take your time. So that's what I did.
That's wonderful advice, because you're being an equestrian like you, a professional one, a phenomenal one at that. It's different than other sports. Like you could say for basketball, Kobe retired when he was probably 37, and it's so different with equestrians because you kind of can do it as long as your body can. And if you're not taking care of it when you're young,
right,
you're not going to last. So that's good advice. I know there's another thing that we talked about previously that I loved that you said is look to those who came before you. Can we talk about that?
For sure. Yeah. So when you're a professional in this sport, you have to really decide what kind of trainer you want to be, what kind of competitor you want to be. And with that comes education, and you can't rush experience. So like I said, a lot of my fellow competitors or the people that I am in the ring with are these people that have done way more than I have and have been around a lot longer than I have. And to be riding amongst them is very special, but it's also a super great opportunity to look around you and realize how people are managing their horses' careers, how they're pushing when they want to push and holding back when they should. And there's so many experiences to learn from. And I think people really limit themselves, when you're young, to thinking you're the next best thing. There's always somebody younger and somebody better and probably somebody with more money in this sport. So you have to kind of humble yourself to be open to learning, because there's just endless things to learn. And when you have great people around you who have done it for so long, you should, for me, I fully take advantage of that. I believe that to be crucial to my education, and it's made a huge impact on how I ride and how I approach my horses and my clients' horses.
A lot of people came before you, and you had the humility and the openness to be able to accept their advice and look at them as role models. And I understand how a lot of athletes probably, think they're the next best thing, and that's almost detrimental to their athletic career because it makes them limited. Like you said, if you go in open-minded, you're going to learn more. Simple as that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you have to have a little bit of that edge, to really compete. There's part of you that needs that, but this sport with the horses, it's so humbling. I mean, you can have everything going right and they have the mind of their own. So it's easy to get humbled quick. So it's important to look around and see how people get through those moments too.
Oh, yeah. Being humble sounds like it's very powerful. And talking about the horse too, I mean, what is it like to have a 1,500-pound partner?
It's exciting some days. It's really difficult other days. But they give so much. The horses really have very interesting, they all have their own character and dispositions, and they mirror a lot of what the people are like around them. So, you have to kind of put that positivity out there for them so that they can give it in return a little bit. I mean, some like to play along with that and some have truly a mind of their own. it's a fun relationship is really what it ends up being, for sure.
Yes, it's very unique that you guys have such a connection with the horse, and the horse is just as much of an athlete as you are. You know, you're both the same. You're both taking care of your bodies, your health, and exercising,
Exactly.
right?
Definitely. I mean, we consider all of these horses athletes themselves. So, as far as nutrition and workload and their education and maintenance or rehab or anything, and injuries that they have, it's the same. We really take care of every little detail. You know, they have to be at their best as much as we do.
A partnership to the T. And it sounds like they really feed off of you, or you feed off of each other. You know,
Yeah.
like you said, if you're feeling
Absolutely.
positive and uppity, the horse is feeling like, all right,
Yeah.
let's get
Exactly.
yeah. What has your professional years of writing taught you for life? Because there's a lot of life lessons we can get out of sports.
Definitely. I'd say perseverance has definitely been a big part of it. And the people that have worked out best, I mean, from the very bottom of the food chain to say, like, it's so much of this is manual labor and it can really be monotonous. And you know, to take pride in anything that you're doing, whether it's a super small job that everyone hates to do or whatever, that you are proud of what you're doing and you know, make sure it's top and that you've put everything you have into it. And then also, I think a big part of it is like an open-mindedness that I've learned to not sell yourself short and to always meet a challenge with kind of a yes attitude instead of I can't. You know, it's easy to get bogged down by all your competition out there and, you know, at the pace at which somebody else is moving or whatever. And each horse takes the time that they take in this sport to train them up the levels. And so when you go at it thinking like I can't, I won't, I can't, it only hinders yourself. So positivity, I think, and determination are a big part of this job. And I hope to embody that. And it's not always easy, but you know, you hope to put that out there in the world. And that's definitely what keeps me going is, you know, hoping we're moving towards long-term goals and, you know, bigger picture things.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Alyssa. Absolutely. And so it sounds like perseverance and keeping an optimistic mindset has really helped you. And
Definitely.
I understand that because I mean perseverance, you know, we're not going to be a professional equestrian overnight. And
No,
I'm not
for
going to
sure
wake up
not.
no, and looking to those who came before you and being open-minded sounds like it's the key to being a successful athlete and just a successful person. You mentioned being positive, and it really resonated with me because our brain, you know, knows and our ears can hear us. If we're saying, "Oh, I
Right.
can't. Oh, I
Right.
can't. Oh, I can't." Then we can't.
You won't.
You
I
know,
mean, if anything in this sport, no one's going to do it for you, you know? So you have to be the one pushing yourself and trying to be, you know, like I said, take pride in those really meaningless little jobs that are painful or stupid to do, but you know, it just gets you one step further. And if you focus on the hardships of it, it can really deter you from your long-term goals, definitely. So
yes, I believe in that so much is to everything will lead to something. You
yeah,
know, if
totally.
you're cleaning the stalls, you know, it'll
Right.
lead to the next thing and that'll lead to the next thing. And
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you're a perfect example of that. And I think you're a great role model, Alyssa, and I'm really grateful that we got to talk.
Oh, thank you. I'm
Mhm.
super grateful for this opportunity as well. It's been fun.
Yay. Well, okay, I'll let you get back to your horses.
It's
I
about
love it.
dinner time here. Bye.